It is time for the penultimate game of this year's Big Bash. Brisbane Heat, Perth Scorchers all set to challenge for a spot against the Sydney Sixers in the final of Big Bash League Season 10. Let's build our fantasy team on my 11 Circle Fantasy pick on ESPN Cricinfo. I'm Rono Kapoor and Tom Moody, as always, is all set to join me. Right then, let's go to our pro tip. And it's about the Perth Scorchers who haven't quite enjoyed their time this season at the Manuka Oval, where they've lost each of their 3 games this season. Their bowlers have taken a combined total of 7 wickets here. So now the pro tip suggests trim your bowling options from the Scorchers. I'm already seeing an inclination towards Brisbane Heat in this fantasy side. Tom Moody, what do you make of that?
Yeah, look, I think it's a brave decision to do that. You know, there's certainly one bowler I wouldn't be trimming, and that's Jai Richardson. He's been in red-hot form, so he must be in your 11. But certainly, you know, in these games, you want to go with the form. Clearly, wicket-taking is not as easy at Manuka, but be careful who you pick. Maybe spin is your option.
All right. Well, as you know, as you've been playing on the My 11 Circle Fantasy app, 100 credits for every user to build their fantasy team. 4 categories of players to choose from: batsmen, bowlers, wicket keepers, and all-rounders. You can pick a maximum of 7 players from one team in any given contest. Every player's individual credit value is listed on the app. And we'll throw in 4 substitute options for you towards the end of this video as well. Right, let's go to our top picks. In our captaincy positions, there's a lot of Brisbane Heat participation, starting with Marnus Labuschagne as our recommended captain. He's been in terrific form for Brisbane Heat with bat and ball ever since he joined them after national duty, and not just 161 runs, but those 10 wickets in 5 games have been absolutely priceless. He's been the highest fantasy points aggregator in 4 of the 5 games that he's played for his side. Lynn features as the vice-captain option, and even though he missed 4 games due to injury this season, Lynn is still the leading run scorer for Brisbane Heat. 436 runs at a stellar strike rate of over 156. He also enjoyed the time he last faced Fawad Ahmed, so keep an eye out for that particular matchup. Captains give you double the points, vice-captains 1.5 times the points, and we've gone for Marnus Labuschagne and Lynn from Brisbane Heat. Colin Munro features in our top picks as well. He is one of the highest run scorers of this edition. 441 runs in 14 games. He's enjoying a dream season. He's not been in the best of form against spin in this year's Big Bash, averaging just 26. That's the only reason we're not going to include him in our captaincy options. Josh Inglis features. He's also been a revelation for the Scorchers ever since last year's Big Bash, on track for another 400-plus run season, and of course a terrific player of spin with an average of over 40 in this year's Big Bash. Finally, Mitchell Swepson, along with Labuschagne, they formed a bit of a spin duo for Brisbane Heat. 18 wickets in 5 games after joining Heat from national commitments. And the leg spinners also picked up a couple of wickets in each of his last 4 games for Brisbane Heat. One of the key reasons that they've had this sort of surge towards the fag end of this year's Big Bash. Marnus Labuschagne is captain, Lynn is vice-captain, Colin Munro, Josh Inglis, and Mitchell Swepson round off our top picks. Tom, what do you make of those?
Yeah, look, they're all good picks. You know, Marnus Labuschagne has really been a revelation for the Heat, and one of the reasons they've really turned their season around, with both bat and ball making big contributions. Lynn seems to have found his form, not only with the bat, but his captaincy has been terrific so far in this Big Bash. And then you've got the 3 form players, Munro, Inglis and Swepson. So to me, that makes up a pretty strong core.
All right, let's go to some differential picks now. We're going to start with Sam Heslett. We know that he was brought back into the side to have that left-handed option in the middle order, and he's exceeded expectations and how delivered that match-winning 49 ball 74 not out against Sydney Thunder to take his side into this Challenger game. He's also scored heavily at the Manuka Oval, 166 runs at an average of over 55, striking at nearly 150. Jimmy Pearson is there as well, the experienced T20 keeper bat. He's been on strong with the bat in this year's Big Bash. He's scored the second most runs for Brisbane Heat, 309 runs in 16 games. This is by far his best Big Bash season. He's also getting you those extra points with gloves in hand in the field. Sam Heslett and Jimmy Pearson in our differential picks. Looking at our full team, we've got Inglis and Pearson both as keeper options. Colin Munro, Marnus Labuschagne, our recommended captain. Heslett and Lynn, who's our recommended vice-captain. Liam Livingston and Mitchell Marsh. So too Mark Steketee, Jai Richardson and Mitchell Swepson. Substitutes bench features the likes of Joe Denley, Ben Lachlan, Jason Roy and Andrew Tye. Some alternate scenarios, we could swap Roy and Liam Livingston. You could also find room for Andrew Tye in place of Marsh if you want an extra bowler. And you could also look at Colin Munro and Mitchell Swepson in those captaincy positions. Are any of those alternate scenarios that tempt you, Tom? And any last points you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Yeah, look, no, I wouldn't be making a huge amount of changes. I think the point around the Scorchers bowlers lacking the ability to take wickets at Monaco, you need to take that into consideration. So I'd leave Tye out of the 11 and stick with Marsh. Marsh also owes the team one after a disappointing last game, both with his penalty suspension, but also just with bat and ball, he's overdue in a big game. So I'd keep it as it is. It all looks a pretty strong side, and I'm sure the captaincy, vice captaincy is the right choice as well, because both those selected are in good form.
All right, Tom Moody, thank you very much. As always, one more to go before the final of the Big Bash. We'll see you then on my 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo.